how China is trying to become a politically influential entity in the world.
What are those schemes in which government has upped the allocation?
Can you tell two major structural changes in Indian economy? Structural means caused by the government, which have affected the common man.
Come.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Please take a seat.
Thank you so much.
Krishna Chandra.
Yes.
Acha, please tell us something about yourself, Krishna.
My name is Krishna Chandra Gupta. I come from Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh. I have done my graduation in electrical engineering. Post that, I have an experience of as a data analyst in Deloitte USI. I have been the national debate winner, as well as I have represented Indore in All India campaign called I Lead India campaign launched by Times of India. Thank you.
Tell me, being an electrical engineer, what do you do as an analyst in Deloitte? I mean, you're not an MBA or you're not a specialist in finance or anything. So what were you doing as an analyst?
So as an electrical engineer, though, yes, the advisory analyst domain was non-core, but at the same time, during the graduation of electrical engineer, we have been taught the programming language as well as the analytical skills, which are being used in the analytics job that I have been doing. So any engineer who has the analytical ability can do the job in data analyst.
Sure. Okay. What is your specific job there?
So we are the technical support team to the audit team.
Finance.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what have you been doing after that, after 2017? How do you sustain yourself?
So I have been preparing for this examination. I have given some of the state examination as well. So the whole period was given to the preparation for UPSC.
Okay. And how do you sustain yourself economically? I mean,
so my father was kind enough to.
Father supports you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, foreign service is one of your main choices, second choice. Can you tell me something about how China is trying to become a politically influential entity in the world recently? Some recent incidents which have happened, not incidents, but some recent things they've done to improve their status as a political champion.
So with the change in the geopolitics of the international relation, China has evolved itself from a lone wolf diplomacy to the one who can has a responsible leader of the world economy. Here, some of the incidents that China has recently done is the recent visit of Honorable President of China to Russia and playing the role of a mediator between Ukraine and Russia. Second one would be the deal which was brokered between Iran as well as UAE, Saudi Arabia. So these are the few things where China has been trying to mold its diplomacy and make in-depth into the world geopolitics.
Okay, how will that impact India?
So there are a few dimensions of it in the kind of the impact that India is going to have. First, the West Asia is having a very good relation with India, and any kind of a stability in the region will be good for India's relationship. At the same time, China's role as a world leader will make the Asia as a multipolar world, which is one of the envisaged role of India of the world order.
I didn't get your last statement.
So I'll rephrase it. So the world is being divided into various centers of power, which is called the poles of the world. So initially it was a bipolar, and then with the blockage of USSR, we have a unipolar world. The China, which the India's dream of the world order is to have a unipolarity in its region. Secondly, multipolarity in the Asia as well as the world. So once the China starts to express the Asian characteristic or the Asian features or the century becoming the Asian, in that way it is going to help India's interest as well.
How? We will become China's sidekick or something? We start, following in their footsteps or take hand-me-downs from them?
No, sir. India is a Soviet country, and we do not intend to do that. But at the same time, China is one of the Asian countries, and they have been a hegemony of Western ideas as well as the Western notations of.
So, from your answer, I think you want us to believe that we should, support China in its efforts to, improve their own political status, so that when China goes up, Asia will also go up. The rest of Asia will also go up. That's what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
Collectively, we should, leave the others and then go along with China, what China is doing.
The collective Asian, wherever it is. Right.
That's a new thing in diplomacy, I must say. Okay.
All right, Krishna. What do you do? Like in Deloitte, are you doing the algorithmic analysis?
Yes, ma'am.
That's your. I mean, why would they take an engineer? Because of this reason only, no?
We were being the technical support of the audit team. We were given the responsibility to write the programs as well as to cleanse the data, standardize the data, and to give insights of the data to the audit team.
Okay, all right. And how big is an issue cybersecurity, and what are the risk management steps you take?
In terms of the
any. I'm not talking in
Ma'am, cybersecurity is very important in terms of India being the one of the growing digital power. In terms of the steps that we can take is multi-level gateways such as the firewall, as well as the ensuring the awareness, as well as also the isolating of the outside drives into the system, as we have seen one of the incident in AIPS where the cybersecurity because of the external device coming into the system. So these are the few steps that we can take.
I read somewhere that even in Aadhaar there are some weak links. What are those? Have you applied yourself to it?
There have been allegations of it, but UDI has come out and there have not been any credible news upon it. Though there were news where the biometric system is not working because of some of the physical, the labors.
No, not that. Purely, that it can lead to misuse and that kind of thing.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, just read up on it. It's very recent, the news, Weak links and Aadhaar karke, you can always look into it. All right. I mean, so far as the budget is concerned, yes, we'll take you to a totally different area altogether, away from your comfort zones. There's been some good allocation for the social sector. What are those schemes in which government has upped the allocation? Couple of schemes have got a lot of focus on rural schemes. I'm talking about. Okay.
Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana has been given.
Yeah, very good. Yes.
Jal Shakti Mission has been given a letter of credit.
Yeah.
So these two are the.
And why do you think Manrega they've cut the allocation? How does that help?
Ma'am, there are a few things why the reason of decreasing the allocation to the Manrega. One, the increase was because of the COVID years where the job issue was there. Secondly, would be the increasing India's subsidy allocation, and because of which the fiscal deficit as well as the budgetary deficit was increasing. Thirdly, we need to understand that these social schemes such as Awas Yojana as well as the Jal Shakti Mission works in the convergence of the MG Narega. So the some of the money which is being allotted to these schemes will also be used in the MG Narega scheme. So these are the few things which need to be considered.
Okay. All right. Okay. So what is the fiscal deficit? And what is it expected, what do we aspire it to be?
Ma'am, fiscal deficit is the difference between the total.
That is okay, yes. What is the percentage?
And the FRBM Act suggests that our fiscal deficit should be less than 3%, which is in the last fiscal we have 6.4. And in the next year we are going to expect 5.8, and the short-term objective is to have around 4.5% to 2025-26.
Okay, and what is the position of inflation?
Inflation has been above the target limit of government as well as the RBI. The recent data suggests that our inflation number is around 6.22, the CPI numbers. So that is because of the various reasons as well, the external as well as the internal. So we need to look into the inflation.
And which are those countries, which have double-digit inflation?
I'm starting with our neighbors, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, as well as we have the something called running inflation in Zimbabwe, Venezuela as well. So these are the few countries, UK.
And so far as our neighbors are concerned, what happened in Sri Lanka? Why it went totally, the figures went rocketing so high?
And there are a few issues. First of all, the unsustainability of the debt, as well as the mismatch between the long-term and the short-term recovery of the debt. Second one would be the policies which were taken by the Sri Lankan government, such as taking the organic route, as well as which, because of that, the export went down. Third one would be the external sectors, such as the COVID, as well as the going down of the tourism sector, which contributes too much to the GDP of the Sri Lanka.
Okay. And any country also had you think they also played some vital role in Sri Lanka's adding to compounding their problems?
And the recent effort of IMF giving money to the
No.
here the China factor is one thing.
What about China? What did they do?
Ma'am, the checkbook diplomacy, as we say, the infrastructure which is being taken by China has not been very sustainable. Secondly, the credit which was given to IMF, the other members should need to give some credit to it. That was China, Japan, and India. Though India and Japan has given the assent to provide the credit, but there have been some lag between the China's permission to give that. So that is second.
Okay, all right, okay. And who's helping out Pakistan in their issues, problems? Has IMF given help?
Ma'am, IMF is looking, definitely. There are few conditions that IMF wants Pakistan to fulfill. Meanwhile, Pakistan have taken some of the help from China, as well as its friends from Saudi Arabia as well.
Chalo, thank you.
Okay. ग्वालियर का क्या मतलब है?
So, ग्वालियर comes from एक सेंट के नाम से आता है, that is ग्वालियर. ये सूरज सेन जब आए थे और वहाँ पे
थाटीपुर.
सर थाटीपुर नाम आता है 34 बटालियन ऑफ ब्रिटिश से, जो वहाँ पे रहते थे, और वो बोलते बोलते उसको 34 का वो थाटीपुर हो गया.
अच्छा, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. अच्छा, ऐसा ही एक और जगह है महू. महू का क्या मतलब है?
सर ये इंदौर के पास है, मतलब तो मुझे नहीं पता.
मिलिट्री हेडक्वार्टर्स ऑफ वॉर.
यस,
उसको महू बन गया. अच्छा, आपके नाम में एक बहुत बड़े व्यक्ति का नाम छुपा है, उनके बारे में बताइए.
सर मेरे
चंद्रगुप्त.
Sir, Chandragupta, there are few personalities, very big personality with the name of Chandragupta. That is, first one is Chandragupta Maurya, जो कि 300 BC के. So Chandragupta Maurya was one of the leader who was able to expand its kingdom and was instrumental in bringing Mauryan Empire. So and he was the famous disciple of Chanakya. So that's what.
तो जब इतने बड़े बड़े राजा रह लिए हमारे देश में, तो बाद में हम लोग क्यों नहीं संभाल पाए? What went wrong?
सर कुछ चीज़ें हैं जो गलत हो गई. एक जैसे कि हमने अपनी नेवी पे कभी ध्यान नहीं दिया. सेकेंडली जो हमारे जो राजा थे उनमें कभी एक क्लियर हेरिडिटी लाइन नहीं थी कि कौन साम्राज्य संभालेगा. तो इस वजह से कि जो बच्चों में लड़ाई हुई और इस वजह से राज्य छोटे छोटे होते चले गए. तीसरी बड़ी बात है कि जो सैनिकों को हमने इतनी प्रशिक्षण नहीं दिया, तो इस वजह से ये भी हुआ कि जो ब्रिटिश आए जब, तो उनके 1500 के वर्सेस हमारे 3000 के भी टिक नहीं पाए. So ये कुछ रीजन है कि इस वजह से इंडिया एक अखंड भारत नहीं रह पाया.
Does it have anything to do with industrial revolution?
Yes, sir. Industrial revolution has been a big role when it comes to this. India has been one of the largest exporting country, but we were not able to scientifically modernize our industries, and because of that, we also became the raw material supplier of British. So that was the reason of deindustrialization of India too. So that also contributed to India's.
No, when the Britishers came, did they have better weapons than us?
Yes, sir. They were having better weapons than us.
Which weapons?
So the rifles that they were having, as well as the ships that they were using were far better than Indian ones.
Okay. You tell me about Vaam Scam in your state.
So Vaam Scam happened in 2011. It was some of the discrepancy was found in the testing of the candidates in terms of the medical, that is PMT examination. So that was the reason, and there have been lot of arrests as well. So
after that, it has not been repeated?
No, sir, it has not been repeated.
Okay. Now, after you passed out from school, say which year you passed out?
So 2012.
12. So after that, can you tell two major structural changes in Indian economy? Structural means caused by the government, which have affected the common man.
So the two most structural development in the economy would be, first one would be the reform in the indirect taxation, that is GST.
Okay.
Second one would be the demonetization, and because of that it has given boost to the digital economy, and today we are having the largest number of digital transactions, as well as some of the products like UPI and as well.
What is the number of digital transactions we have? Some idea?
So so I have if you can allow, I'm not sure.
Yes, why not?
So it's around 700,000 crores, something in that range.
It's in trillions.
Yes.
Right? Very good. Okay, now let's come to UPI. So you stand in the shoes of a tea vendor and tell me how his or her life has changed because of UPI.
So there has been a changes. First of all, because of the UPI, I have a history of transactions in my account, and that has helped me for the credit history.
Yes. What else?
Secondly, would be there are some instances where the public does not have a change, and therefore I have to let it go. Third one would be the digital literacy that is I am having.
Very
because of
good.
the UPI.
What else?
So these are the few things.
Okay. Let's say I was selling tea earlier at 7 rupees, at 5 rupees. I could sell at 5 rupees or 10 rupees or 15 rupees. Now I can sell it at 7 rupees.
Yes.
Right? That change issue has, in fact, one particular item, the sale has reduced drastically. Are you aware what is it? It came in the papers also.
So reduce.
The sale has fallen drastically of one particular item due to digital economy.
So
Toffees. Right? Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Krishna, your optional is PSIR, right? And you are aspiring to be a civil servant. So you must be carrying a notion on or understanding of justice. What according to you is justice?
Ma'am, justice, as our preamble says, has three dimensions of it, the social, political and economical. Starting with the political, if we were able to provide political rights as well as the redressal of it, that is political justice. Economical justice would be, as Supreme Court said, the removal of all the inequalities based on status, income, opportunities. The social justice would be in order to have the fair society where no discrimination is there.
Okay, so Krishna, there are two ideas of justice then, right? One is procedural justice and one is distributive justice. According to you, which is a better way? And in India, we are following which form of justice or combination, whatever?
Ma'am, the better one would be distributive justice. And in India, we are having both the combination. Though in Article 25, it says the procedures established by the law. But
in Article
21, it says procedure established by law. But in Menka Gandhi case, Supreme Court has brought in the due process as well. So not only the procedure needs to be the correct, but at the same time, the law has to be fair, reasonable.
Is it Menka Gandhi or something else? It's Maneka Gandhi case, right?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I am now giving you three terms. One is equality of outcome. Another is equality of resources. Third is equality of opportunities. Now give me a chronological way. What should come first? What is most important? Outcome, resources, or capabilities for that matter?
And the first priority would be the equality of capability.
Good.
Second would be the equality of resources. And third one would be the equality of outcomes.
Okay, good. Acha, you must have also read about Machiavelli, right? Machiavelli talks about prince. And in modern sense, we say civil servants are going to be the modern prince. They are the steel frame of Indian administration. Now tell me, what should be two qualities of a lion and two qualities of a fox, which modern day civil servant should have?
Ma'am, the two qualities of lion would be, one, he should be brave enough to stand upon his own decisions.
Good.
Second one would be the leadership skill with the lion qualities. The qualities with the fox would be, he should be clever enough to understand the intricacies of the system. And second one would be, in order to, he should able to plan how to go about the objective what he wants to achieve.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, your interest is also in cooking, right? Now tell me, Krishna, why desserts are served at the end and soups are given in the beginning? There has to be some logic.
Yes, the soups are being given at the first initially because it has a soothing effect and it increases one's hunger. But at the same time, the dessert is being given at the last because it helps in digestion. So these are the few of the things which give.
Okay, good logic. Okay, tell me, is there a difference between North Indian style cooking and South Indian style cooking?
There is a difference between both of them. The ingredients as well, the how it is being proceeded as well as the basic ingredients which are used. Like first of all, the staple food in the South India is from rice, as well as the fermentation is being used in dosa as well as idli, which is not so in the North India. But when also in terms of the way it is being cooked, such as in North India, we have a very minute cutting of vegetables, which is not so in the South.
What about spices?
Though, ma'am, India, the spices, though the queen of the spices, that is the black pepper, comes from the South. But with pan-India availability, the spices has been somewhat similar, but yes, there would be some details I'll look into.
Okay. My last question, because we were having discussion on China, right? So tell me, you must have gone through One Belt, One Road initiative, right? What is the belt component? What is the road component?
Ma'am, the belt component is the land component and the road component is the sea component. The land component, which starts with China and goes up to the European through the Asia as well as the Eurasia route, and the belt component, the road component, goes for the navigational path from.
Okay, so now tell me, do you think that BRI is a strategic policy of encircling India all through its corners, neighbors, and few initiative, if you can tell?
Ma'am, it is true that BRI has been looked at strategic in order to encircle India. String of pearls is something that we are seeing what China has been doing. The China's investment in the Gwadar.
Just few initiatives. That's what my question is.
Ma'am, China's investment in the Gwadar airport, the Gwadar port.
Is it in the BRI?
Ma'am, the CPC as well as CPEC as well as, and this will connect the Gwadar port.
Okay. Thanks a lot. So.
Krishna, you must have heard the news. We are doing some project in Car Nicobar. What is that project and why are we investing in it?
So we are building a strategic airport over there and in Great Nicobar. The objective has been to control China's activity as well as it deals with the Malacca dilemma which China has. Through this is the route where 60% of China's whole business as well as the export is being shipped, and in that way India will be able to control the shipment. Second one would be the recent activities of espionage which was being seen in the Indian Ocean region. So in that way, this is going to help India's strategic military as well as development process.
So we see the kind of blue water navy which China has, you think we will be in a position to control them? We can only maybe keep a watch.
So China recently added one third aircraft carrier. India has 2 aircraft carrier. We are having a very professional navy, as well as there has been a very high planning of indigenization and the technology transformation that India is having. So I think definitely.
Why has the Japanese PM come to India? Or why did he come? He may have gone today maybe.
So the Honorable Prime Minister of Japan has come in order to provide the new Indo-Pacific policy of Japan.
What is new about it?
So initially it was the Abe's policy of Indo-Pacific. In the same time, going forward in the same policy, Mr. Kishido has talked about open and free Indo-Pacific, and India being the indispensable part of it, and rule of law being the center stage.
So what will be exactly done to ensure that? That is the principle. What has he said? How will they actively do it with India? Can you read about it?
Sir.
Okay, no problem. What is happening in France and why?
So in France, there have been some reforms in terms of the pension plans that has been introduced by the Honorable President there.
They have increased the retirement age.
Yes, sir.
Why should people cry? In India, we celebrate.
True, sir. There has been a different altogether lifestyle issue there. After 62, they think that they have contributed much to the society, and increasing the 2 years would be taking away some of the years which they have saved for enjoying. So that would be the.
Now, do you think the Maharaja of Gwalior was a traitor in 1857?
Yes, sir. Yeah, he would be considered as a traitor because he has.
In spite of that, people still call them Maharajas even now. So there is something wrong with the people of Gwalior. They should be hanging them up by a pole.
So it is less with the titles, because under Article 18 there has moved, the provision of titles has been removed. But at the same time, the connotation of Maharaja has been to respect the legacy that, as well as the contribution that the Scindia family.
So I am saying that legacy has been earned by treachery to the country. It should all be taken away from them, and they should be turned into commoners. Don't you think so?
So, though there has been an incident of such, but they have also contributed to the local economy as well as the development of the area. So, altogether, it has been a history, and the objective should be to move forward, I guess.
The way we have forgiven the British, people want to forgive the Maharajas. Huh? Okay. Now, you are an electrical engineer. In India, why do we use 220 volt power in the house?
So, firstly, why 220 is the 11%, that is 1% is being taken as the extra one because it goes for the wastage. So, the 1% is being taken as a extra so that the 200 volt can go up to that level.
But
the number.
Why not 110 like Europe or America?
So, I'm not aware of that reading.
Okay, check that up. How does a hybrid engine work as compared to a normal IC engine?
So in a normal IC engine, it's the combustion of the fuel that happens. But in terms of the hybrid engine, there are the engine as well as the motor is also available there.
So how does it happen? The interchangeability, when does it happen? Under what circumstances?
So I may not have the clear idea. If you will allow, I can try it. So mostly it is being firstly the charging of the battery. Once it goes down to a particular level, it switches to the IC engine, that is the internal combustion engine. So that's all. I'm not much.
कोई बात नहीं, check कर लेना, no problem. Your father was in the Air Force.
Yes.
So what did you learn about the Air Force from him?
So starting with the motto that Nav Sparsham Deeptam, you have to touch the sky, and there is always improvement, and there is always excellence that one needs to achieve. Second would be the discipline that the Indian Air Force shows, as well as the service attitude, where the Indian Air Force has been always able to come as a first responder to any calamity that the countryman sees. So these are the...
What is your view on the Agniveer scheme?
So it's the initiative which was need of the hour, and the government has taken a very rightful decision in order to modernize the army so that army becomes more agile as well as more young.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Krishna Chandra, your formal interview is now over. How do you think you've done?
So some of the questions from the electrical I could read more into it, and otherwise it was good.
Okay, when is your interview scheduled?
So 12th of April.
12th of April, you've got 20 days. Well, you are articulate and you can structure your answers well, but some policy, international policy things, you can read up some different. You might have read an editorial which talks about, helping China and
The
become
China
important.
thing,
This thing, but I think you should read other editorials also to have a correct perspective, because this might not be the correct.
This might not be appreciated also.
Might not be appreciated. Okay, so otherwise I think you're fine, and you keep reading the newspaper, keep updating yourself. Just an interview hoga, that morning also you should read all the newspapers possible, because members are likely to ask questions from the newspapers they have with them, and they also watch TV one day before at home. So you watch the evening Rajya Sabha TV or Lok Sabha TV or this Vion and all important channels which give you international news perspectives, stories on international news. So those you can watch so that you are up to date with what the member is likely to ask. So otherwise you will do well. थोड़ा नाखून काट लेना जाने से पहले.
They were quite visible.
I'll do it.
Okay.
No, you're very good. Be confident.
You're very good.
Very articulate.
You're very good.
You do well.
Many times you've been able to think very well on your feet, on questions, that prioritization. Very good. So you do well, be confident.
Likable personality, very nice smile and everything.
Let's take an official Indian stand for foreign policy, like Sir said. Official Indian stand.
एक बार गवर्नमेंट में आ जाओ ना, then you can have your own views.
All
Alright.
pro-India stand.
But right now you are facing the interview board who may have some very, traditional conservative views and very close to the official line, right? And you're very crisp otherwise. Very nice. You'll do well.
आप ग्वालियर से हो तो राजघराने की बात तो आ सकती है, तो थोड़ा सा
तानसेन की भी आ सकती है.
हाँ, थोड़ी सी चीज़ें पढ़ लेना. ग्वालियर की बहुत बड़ी हिस्ट्री है, और वैसे भी चंद्रगुप्त के साइड से भी, चाणक्य के साइड से भी. ठीक, तो देख ले. बट यू आर वंडरफुल पर्सन, यू शुड मेक इट. आपका रिटर्न कैसा गया?
Sir, ठीक है. The optional always makes a issue. This is the 5th attempt. I have given interview previous also.
अच्छा.
And
तब
अच्छा, इसमें लिखा नहीं हुआ इसमें.
What did you
डायरेक्ट
get?
नहीं लिखा हुआ. कितने नंबर मिले थे?
so 185.
185. तो बहुत अच्छे नंबर
Very
है.
nice.
और दिख रहा है तो
You have to better it now, huh? Or even maintain that level is pretty good.
right.
Yeah.
How have you done in your optional this time?
So I have improved this time. Let's
You
see.
improved. Change करने की नहीं सोची पॉल साइंस की वजह कुछ और?
सर सोचा था, लेकिन फिर बहुत बड़ा काम हो जाता उसको पूरा चेंज करना. आई थॉट कि जितना एफर्ट मैं चेंज करने में करूँ, उतना एफर्ट मैं उसको और इम्प्रूव करने में करूँ. दैट वाज द डिसीजन.
Very
No, but
nice
you
thing
came out
about
good in
him.
optional questions also. You came out good.
He answered in Hindi when Hindi में पूछा
हाँ, ये
गया,
even I-
and he answered in English when English में पूछा गया. That was a
Same diction,
very
very
good
nice
policy.
diction.
And both you were very fluent in. You had command over both the languages. Good one.
Good. You will do well.
All right.
Thanks.
All the best. God bless.